a regular Wednesday night at TCM hosting movies.
Wearing sparkles.
Wearing the sparkles and the tuxedos, and don't go up the stairs, they're not safe. So New Beginnings, our theme tonight, fittingly on New Year's Eve, and all five of us together. It's always great to have all five hosts here. Just,
great to see all of you.
Yeah, so it's an interesting lineup that movies that we have tonight. Bridget Jones's Diary, Only You, a Norman Jewison film, and Sleepless in Seattle. This theme of New Beginnings certainly applies to the first movie we have tonight, Bridget Jones's Diary. Obviously, I saw it when it came out. I liked it. I'm sure I've seen it once or twice since then with some woman I was dating. I mean, I like romantic comedies a lot. I'm quite capable of watching them on my own, but it strikes me that this was the kind of movie you might watch in that setting. But it's been many years since I'd seen it. Have you seen it more than once?
No, I'm not the biggest rom-com person.
Really, you really seem like it.
But one of the things that I appreciate about this film is that it shows the vulnerability of the men as well as the central woman character, which doesn't always happen in rom-coms. So this is one that I really enjoy a lot.
Yeah, I was more taken with it, seeing it for the first time in more than a decade than I imagined I would be. Right here, we have two people who I imagine just would put romantic comedies pretty far down their list of genres. Right. Do you love a romantic comedy?
Not my first choice, obviously, but for instance, I had never seen this movie until...
Oh, you'd never seen it?
I had never seen Bridget Jones's Diary. I mean, it came out at a certain time where I was at a certain place in my life where I'm not seeing that. I'm not going to go see that. And it's weird. Would guys like to take their date to a movie like this? I don't know. Because it's like, isn't the guy going to always be, so am I Hugh Grant or am I Colin Firth? Who am I here in this story? And what she really think of me and blah, 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 which I guess is the point. But I mean, it was very charming. I found it very charming.
Yeah, I love this movie. I mean, no surprise. I am a huge romantic comedy fan. It is my favorite genre. And this is a film I've seen countless times. But what I love about this movie is the fact that, I mean, the kind of single, messy woman trying to get her life together is such a trope that we see time and time again in romantic comedies. But here, I mean, spoiler alert, she doesn't change. She thinks she needs to change everything about herself to find love, but she doesn't. And she's also not changed by love. She's still herself at the end. And it's got a really nice line that I won't spoil that Mark Darcy says to her about being exactly who she is. That's what I think, for me personally, makes this movie so charming, as well as Renee Zellweger. But I was struck by watching it again at how much smoking there is.
It's a tremendous amount of
I forgot
smoking,
that you could smoke in restaurants and bars, like not that long ago.
Yeah.
So her accent, Dave, am I right? Her accent took some criticism at the time?
See, I recall it being the opposite. I remember she got a lot of praise for an accurate British portrayal.
Good, because I think I was watching it thinking that people were, and I'm like, this is nonsense. Everyone on the planet believes she's English.
Right.
All right.
It was the Oscar nomination for her, the first of the 4 Oscar nominations she had. And I remember reading this book when it came out.
Yeah.
And because I was really intrigued by the whole aspect of the diary and all the, you know, VV instead of very, very and all of that. The movie doesn't really take you into the diary as much as it could have, which I think makes it more cinematic, because what are you going to do, read the pages of the diary? But I think it's elevated by the fact that Richard Curtis, you know, the writer of 4 Weddings and a Funeral and Notting Hill and the director of Love Actually, worked on this screenplay. And then, of course, the cast.
Yeah.
To have Renee Zellweger, Hugh Grant, and Colin Firth and Jim Broadbent.
Gemma Jones.
They're all just
they're so good.
Great. I hadn't seen this since it came out, and I was pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoyed it.
I'm amazed at what I'd forgotten. Like, we won't spoil the ending, but I was audible at a moment in the end where I'm like, what? No, don't do that. And then you're like, oh, right. Maybe that's not what I think is happening. I was totally charmed by it. She's not in as much now, Renee Zellweger, right? She's not omnipresent, but she's good at this. She's just very, very, very good at this, and it's possible not to root for her. All right, let's watch it, and then we can discuss some of the twists and turns when we return. It's not great for local television reporting. It doesn't my previous profession. It doesn't really. But anyway, so here it is from 2001, directed by Sharon Maguire, cast led by Renee Zellweger, Colin Firth, Hugh Grant, Bridget Jones's Diary. So back here with all 5 TCM hosts here as we get ready to bring in the new year. A night of new beginnings, and Bridget Jones's Diary, certainly a new beginning. I want to jump right to the end. You mentioned at the beginning her transformation, and what I like real quick best about her transformation, I'm curious whether we'll agree, is that I think she does have a significant transformation. She is the same person, but she decides that doing it in pursuit of finding a partner is not why to do it. She does get a new job. She is much more together at the end and comfortable with herself, which enables her to be in a position to connect with someone. That just felt very honest.
Exactly. And I think one of the best moments in romantic comedies for many decades is Mark Darcy saying,
I like you very much, just as you are.
it's hard not to swoon, especially when Colin Firth says it.
Yeah. Colin Firth does the awkward thing to perfection here.
Yeah, he's really
The
good.
whole way through, and we've seen him be super suave in so many other movies. So just to watch him in those sweaters and just being the awkward guy that he is a joy.
Yeah, and he's got this way of leaving a situation that is not good for him. This guy's the king of the Irish goodbye. Like, he didn't want to be there. He leaves, you know.
And he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. No, he's not wrong.
His judgment is actually right.
Yeah.
It seems like she rises to the occasion of really embracing herself, and that's when they can get together. And I had forgotten how great the soundtrack is for this film. That we have Ain't No Mountain High Enough by Diana Ross and I'm Every Woman by Shaka Khan. And even It's Raining Men by the Weather Girls during the fight scene.
So, so now I'm going to, because I think that the director, Sharon Maguire, and Richard Curtis, one of the writers, I think they're waiting for my notes. So here they are. She's too dumb for much of the movie. Like, she's too disorganized, too silly. Like, why on earth would they allow that person to make the introduction at this important book if they know this is who she is? There are other people in that office, right? Let one of the people who will just go up and do it correctly. And then that fight scene, which I loved. And then I thought the Raining Men during it ruined it.
Oh, it's weird.
It's too
but
weird.
I love the song.
But it turned it into a farce as opposed to like 2 grown men who have no idea how to fight, like 98% of us, right?
We'll find out before the day.
Yeah. So that bugged me because I was like, this could be a great, amusing fight scene between these 2 incompetent
But you know,
buffoons.
I appreciated that because you mentioned her being bumbling. And isn't there a thing, Alicia, about in romantic comedies, these women are constantly falling down, like the falling. So to me, that brought them to the same level of just this kind of bumblingness, which was cool.
The falling off, the goofiness, the awkwardness. I just mean like she's too smart to behave in the manner she does.
Agreed. But physically, she's bumping into stuff. She's falling down.
That's lovely.
It just didn't make any sense.
That's lovely. That said, those were my notes. So if you ever make a sequel, otherwise, but I loved it. I loved it.
I do want to shout out Jim Broadbent because we've all talked about Thomas Mitchell in the year 1939, where he was the guy who was in every movie and he won the Oscar. Yeah. That was Jim Broadbent in 2001 because he was in this, he was in Moulin Rouge, and he won the Oscar the same year for Iris, which also came out in 2001. And then I went and looked up how old he was, and he was my age when this movie came out.
Oh, really?
Which really was a dagger to the heart.
Wow.
He was 66 then? Wow.
He was 52.
He's so good. And
good.
Gemma Jones is great.
Yeah.
Celia Imrie is great. They just really, the Brits, they can act.
Yeah.
Good casting. And I want to give a shout out to the BBC series Pride and Prejudice, that version, because it's my favorite version of Pride and Prejudice. And it inspired Helen Fielding when she was writing the original book. And that's why she created the character of Mark Darcy, was after she watched Mr. Darcy, played by Colin Firth, in the BBC series. So I thought it was a really nice piece of casting to then choose Colin Firth, who wasn't a big star compared to Hugh Grant and Renee Zellweger at the time, to play Mark Darcy in this film, a version of Mr. Darcy, but it's not exactly an adaptation of Pride and Prejudice. Also, here's what I get a little nerdy, but the publishing house where Bridget works is called Pemberley Press, which is Mr. Darcy's estate, Pemberley.
Oh.
And also playing one of the office workers, he has no lines, is Crispin Bonham Carter, who played Mr. Bingley in that TV series version of Pride and Prejudice. So nice little nod there. And Hugh Grant is really charming.
He's very good at this.
Yeah.
Where did this come in his career? Because he
After
was
four
a star.
weddings, oh yeah,
at
he'd done
this
4
point.
weddings. He had done 9 months. He had made headlines for his personal life, so he was already well established at this point.
And he was the one who brought Richard Curtis in to this film to do some
Because Curtis had done
rewrites.
4 weddings
Yeah,
and
on
Notting
the
Hill.
script.
All right, well done. Coming up next, more of our Night of New Beginnings. This time, one of my favorite actresses, Marissa Tomei, directed by Norman Jewison, who was such a great friend to TCM, and none other than Robert Downey Jr. Only You, next on TCM.
Next on TCM, Only You. Then Sleepless in Seattle. And later, Diner. TCM's got free refills all night.